Okay, so I didn't realize the first two episodes were just going to be like 2 minutes. I just went for what felt like a good stopping point. So from now on, I'm going to try to shoot for 5 minutes an episode. Maybe a little more, maybe a little less. One other note I wanted to throw out there. I seem to have missed Far Cry 5. My bad on that one. Also, between me writing that episode and releasing that episode, it seems the main character of the Witcher series got confirmed for Soul Calibur 6. But we'll circle back to that, okay? I got a whole fucking Tommy Westfall universe I gotta get through first. So last time we determined that Link was in Soul Calibur and that Darth Vader and Yoda were in Soul Calibur. This leads us to an episode of The Muppet Show wherein Luke, R2-D2, and C-3PO land on Earth and interrupt the Muppets. The Muppets have appeared in 7 TV shows, 7 movies, as well as a handful of TV specials. The only TV specials I'm going to mention are A Muppet Family Christmas and A Very Muppet Christmas because they tie into other things. But first we need to talk about the crossovers with Sesame Street and its 2 spin-off movies, Follow That Bird and Elmo and Grouchland. Sesame Street, of course, has its fair share of crossovers, including an appearance from Mr. Rogers and his friends from Mr. Rogers' Neighborhood, which had its spin-off show, Daniel Tiger's Neighborhood. I don't have a lot of information to go off here, so trust me, Mr. Rogers appears in the show Butternut Square, which spun off Mr. Dress Up. Among Sesame Street's other crossovers includes Between the Lions and Electric Company, as well as an appearance from comedian Paul Reubens as his character Pee-wee Herman, who has had 2 movies and a TV show centered on him. But that wasn't Pee-wee's screen debut. The first movie he was in was Cheech and Chong's next movie. Bet you weren't expecting Cheech and Chong to be that close to Sesame Street. Now, Cheech and Chong typically played characters that are just named Cheech and Chong. In fact, in their first movie, Up in Smoke, they played characters with different names than all their other movies. So, for now, we're only going to count Cheech and Chong's next movie as being Smash Canon. Pee-wee Herman would also appear in the show 227. Pure fucking coincidence that ended up at the 227th spot. He also appeared on the show Madame's Place and the film Back to the Beach. Sesame Street also had an appearance from characters from a cartoon based on the Archie comics. Again, we're not counting the whole Archie universe, however, we will count the 9 cartoons that had the exact same voice cast.
So real quick, between filming and editing, I found yet another connection. Turns out Elmo was on a short-lived Cartoon Network series called Big Bag. It was like the first live-action show ever on Cartoon Network. And to be fair to me, it's pretty easy to not know about that since only 5 of the 32 episodes were ever released on home video. So the other 29 episodes are currently considered lost. So most of this series doesn't exist. And it's in the Smash universe. The episode with Elmo does still exist, you can find that. Now back to our regularly scheduled programming.
As far as Muppet crossovers, Captain Kangaroo from Captain Kangaroo appeared on Muppets Tonight. And as for the 2 Christmas specials I mentioned, The Muppet Family Christmas is the only time the Muppets crossed over with Fraggle Rock, and in A Very Muppet Christmas, they run into Glenn the janitor from Scrubs, who would go on to appear in the show Clone High. Then there's the curious case of the Earth Day special, which is a television special which aired in 1990 and was chock full of cameos. I'm only going to count the ones that would otherwise not be in the Smash universe. If I can find another way to connect a show that was in the Earth Day special, I'm going to use that connection instead of this one. So, here's some of those cameos. Doogie Howser from Doogie Howser, the Golden Girls from Golden Girls, which spun off the Golden Place, Nurses, and Empty Nest. Then Sophia from the Golden Girls was on an episode of Blossom. There was also Doc Brown from Back to the Future and its 2 sequels, Back to the Future Part 2 and Back to the Future Part 3. Doc Brown would also make a cameo appearance in the film A Million Ways to Die in the West, which also featured a cameo, Django from Django Unchained. And I know there's this big theory about all the Tarantino movies being set in the same universe. but based on the rules I established for this universe, right now all I can confirm is Django Unchained. However, I can confirm, at least in the mind of his creator, that Django is the ancestor of Shaft, who appeared in Shaft, Shaft's Big Score, Shaft in Africa, the Shaft TV show, and had a small role in the 2000 Shaft reboot. And then there was another big TV special that tried to teach kids lessons with all their favorite TV characters, including the Muppet Babies. Cartoon All-Stars to the rescue. Cast included the Smurfs, which ties into nothing. There was Alvin and the Chipmunks from Alvin and the Chipmunks, The Chipmunk Adventure, Alvin and the Chipmunks Meet Frankenstein, Alvin and the Chipmunks Meet the Wolfman, and the new Nick TV show, which weirdly features the exact same voiced cast as the 80s cartoon. What's really weird, though, is Meet Frankenstein and Meet Wolfman is that they're technically considered official spin-offs to the Universal's Frankenstein and Wolfman movies. So that gives us the Wolfman, Frankenstein, Bride of Frankenstein, Son of Frankenstein, The Ghost of Frankenstein, Frankenstein Meets the Wolfman, House of Frankenstein, and Abbott and Costello Meet Frankenstein, the latter of which featured Dracula of Dracula, Dracula's Daughter, Son of Dracula, House of Dracula, as well as the Invisible Man from The Invisible Man Returns, The Invisible Agent, The Invisible Man's Revenge, and Abbott and Costello Meet the Invisible Man. Once again, Abbott and Costello are a comedy duo who seem to have no continuity between films, so we'll just leave the universe at that. R.I.P. the Dark Universe. Back in Cartoon All-Stars, we had an appearance from Michelangelo of Teenage Mutant Ninja Turtles, which would do crossovers with both the 2003 Ninja Turtles and the 2012 Ninja Turtles. Now, both of those involve traveling to different dimensions, so maybe you'd argue those are unmistakably outside the Smash universe. But I say whatever, good enough for me. 2003 Turtles would appear in a TV special, Fighters for the Fox Box, which featured characters for Shaman Kings, Kubik's Robots for All, Kirby Right Back At Ya, Muscle, Kiniki Kumenisia, Sonic X, Funky Cops, and the Cramp Twins. I know, Sonic and Kirby in the Smash universe, who'd have thought? It kind of makes sense if you think about it, like, 87 Turtles are in the original Smash universe with original Sonic and original Kirby, and then the 2003 Turtles are in an alternate dimension with Kirby and Sonic X. Anyways, Cartoon All-Stars also featured Slimer from the real Ghostbusters, which spun off Extreme Ghostbusters. It also had an episode taking place directly after the events of the movie. Also, Harold Ramis, who played Egon, appeared as Egon's brother in the Earth Day special. So we're going to go ahead and count Ghostbusters and Ghostbusters 2. Dan Aykroyd would appear as Rice Dance in the 1995 Casper movie, which had a sequel, Casper A Spirited Beginning, and a spin-off cartoon, The Spooktacular New Adventures of Casper. There's another cameo in Casper, although this might be a bit of a stretch. The Crypt Keeper from Tales of the Crypt, which is an anthology show. So I won't count any of the spin-off movies, but I will count the animated series Tales from the Crypt Keeper. I will also count the episode co-hosted by Death from Bill and Ted's Bogus Journey, tying in Bill and Ted's Excellent Adventure and Bill and Ted's Bogus Journey. And lastly, let me mention Garfield and Friends, because Garfield was in Cartoon All-Stars. That doesn't tie into anything either. Pooh and Huey, Dewey, and Louie were also in Cartoon All-Stars, but we'll talk about them when we get to Kingdom Hearts, which leaves just 2 Cartoon All-Stars left to talk about. So next time, we get Looney.